بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن أبي رزين العقيلي رضي الله عنه قال: قلت يا رسول الله كيف يحيي الله الموتى وما آية ذلك في خلقه؟ قال: أما مررت بوادي أهلك محلا؟ قال: بلى. قال: أما مررت به يهتز خضرا؟ قال: قلت بلى. قال: ثم مررت به محلا؟ قال: بلى. قال: فكذلك يحيي الله الموتى وذلك آياته في خلقه. رواه أحمد. Sayyidina Abu Razin al-Uqayli radiyallahu anhu narrated the following conversation with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, Ya Rasulullah, how will Allah resurrect the dead? What is the sign of such resurrection in His creation? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, Have you not passed by a valley that was parched? Abu Razin radiyallahu anhu said, Yes. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then said, Then you passed by it again and it was lush green. Abu Razin radiyallahu anhu said, Yes. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then asked, Then you passed by it and it was parched again? So Abu Razin radiyallahu anhu replied, Yes. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then finally said, Allah will bring the dead to life again just like that. That is the sign of resurrection in His creation. This conversation is an amplification of the Quranic ayat, wherein Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَتَرَى الْأَرْضَ هَامِدَةً فإذا أنزلنا عليها الماء اهتزت وربت وأنبتت من كل زوج بهيج. You see the earth lifeless, and then no sooner than we send down water upon it, it stirs and swells and brings forth every kind of luxuriant plants. All this is because Allah is the truth, and because He, meaning Allah, resurrects the dead, and because Allah has power over everything, all of which shows that the hour shall surely come to pass. In this there is no doubt, and Allah shall surely resurrect those that are in the graves. Surah Al-Hajj. So another hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam pertaining to the life after death. So in this hadith over here, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gives us a practical example of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will resurrect the dead on the day of Qiyamah. So where the Sahabi comes and he says, Ya Rasulullah, it's not that the Sahabi had any doubts about it, but the Sahabi wanted to understand how it would play out. So the Sahabi didn't have any doubts about the resurrection, but he wanted to understand how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will carry that out on the day of Qiyamah. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave a very easy example, which we see every day as well. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Don't you see that you pass by a piece of land, rain hasn't fallen there for quite some time, so it is dry, the grass has lost its color, there is no life in the plants, in the vegetation. The Sahabi said, Yes, that happens. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Then sometime after the rain falls, the season comes around, and then you see all of that garden or that area is now green, full of life again. Over here in Florida, we don't notice it as much, but if you go to the states that are up north and that are cold over there, wintertime there's absolutely nothing on the trees, right? All the leaves are falling down, there's just the bare trees. Come spring and summer, again everything is green again, everything looks beautiful. The Sahabi said, Yes, I see that, Ya Rasulullah. So Rasulullah said, and then again after some time you pass by that same piece of land, again you see it's all dead again. He said, Yes, Ya Rasulullah, that happens. Allah said, Rasulullah said, in the same way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will resurrect the humans. Meaning first we will all die. So that is us dying. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring about a rain right before the day of Qiyamah. A very light rain will fall. And just as how this is mentioned in the hadith, and just as how the vegetation and the plants and they grow after rainfall, in the same way after this light rainfall, all of the dead will come out from their graves. So in this way, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is the same example of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will resurrect everyone from the graves on the day of Qiyamah. So these are the ayat that we see every single day, but we don't think about it. When we see the dead grass, we say, Yeah, it hasn't rained for a while, I need to turn on my sprinklers. That's what we think. And over here, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is showing us that these things which you see each and every single day, these are small examples. These are the ayat and the signs of Allah's qudrah and Allah's power. But you as a Muslim, you need to reflect. When you see that should bring some thought, should make your mind work, that this is the qudrah and the power of Allah at work, and this will happen and that will happen, and ultimately we will all also have to stand up in front of Allah on the day of Qiyamah. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us amongst those who ponder over the ayat and the signs of Allah, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our shortcomings and to be pleased with us. Amin ya Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallim ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Walhamdulillah.